Welcome to Risky Routes from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Risky Routes is a short interview series with executives and leaders that focuses on pivotal experiences that shape how they think and make decisions. Usually these stories are rooted in travel, but today's episode is a special story that many of you know from the outside. And I'm your host, Olivia Goldstein. Today I am joined by Dr. Harry Leider. For more than 25 years, Harry has served as a C-suite executive across some of the most innovative organizations in healthcare, from venture-backed startups to serving as the chief medical officer at Walgreens. Harry's experience spans digital health, biotechnology, diagnostics, medical devices, payer organizations, and of course, retail pharmacy. Across these roles, Harry has led product innovation, built high-performing teams, and helped to transform ambitious healthcare ideas into scalable businesses. But the reason I invited Harry onto the podcast today is actually to revisit one of the most fascinating and cautionary stories in modern startup history, Theranos. In 2013, Walgreens partnered with Theranos to roll out what was promised to be a revolutionary blood testing technology using only tiny sample volumes. Remember, just a prick of blood? Walgreens ultimately invested more than $150 million into the partnership based on claims that later proved to be totally fraudulent. The technology didn't work. Walgreens, as a result, had to pay tens of millions of dollars in consumer refunds, and the collapse of the partnership ultimately became one of the most defining moments in the unraveling of Theranos. And it ultimately led to the criminal conviction of the founder and CEO, Elizabeth Holmes. Let's dive in. Well, let me start. Harry, thank you for joining me.
Real pleasure to be here, Olivia.
So this, for me, has been a story that I've been obsessed with since my early 20s. When I've always been in startup world, and for me, it's like I saw the rise of Elizabeth Holmes, and she became someone that I deeply admired early on, before everything came out.
Right.
So I even at one point dressed up as her for Halloween,
really?
Right? Yeah, which is hilarious.
The black turtleneck and everything.
The black turtleneck, yep. The little, I even got a blonde wig, everything.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's exciting because I followed the story so closely when it was both her rise and then her
and of course
epic fall.
And of course she's still in prison.
Right, she's still in prison, right? Yeah. So when you and I first met, I fangirled a little bit, geeked out, because I was like, holy moly, this is someone that was on the inside of when all of this first went down.
Yeah.
So I know you've spoken on this before, but would love to hear your side of the story, and like not side of the story, but your perspective.
Yeah,
I'm like, what it was like on the inside when all this happened, when you were, at Walgreens as the chief medical officer, working with Theranos.
Yeah. Well, it was probably professionally the most amazing year of my life, and I mean that amazing in multiple ways.
Yeah.
It was fascinating, but it was also extremely high stress, because you have to remember, at the beginning of the journey, everybody believed this was real.
Yep.
Right? She had this fabulous board with George Shultz and Henry Kissinger and James Mattis and Betsy DeVos, and the whole world thought this was like one of the biggest healthcare breakthroughs in the world. So it started out kind of like heady, and then it went down a different direction, of course.
Yes.
So, but it was very, very stressful year of my life.
So what year was this?
So Walgreens started working with Theranos. I don't remember the exact date, but I want to say something like 2013.
Okay.
And I arrived at Walgreens in 2014.
Okay.
So they had already done the partnership.
You had already inherited this.
I inherited. I didn't do the deal.
Yeah.
I already inherited this. Walgreens had invested $150 million in Theranos, and agreed to pilot the Edison, their technology, in 41 of our retail clinics. The retail clinics, Olivia, were where you could go to see a nurse practitioner.
Yep.
So there was a private place you could do blood. 41 of our stores, 40 in Arizona and one in California. And that was already operating when I came to Walgreens, that pilot. Why Arizona, you might find interesting, is she lobbied the Arizona legislature to allow patients to order common blood tests without a doctor.
Okay.
So that was pretty smart too, right?
Yeah.
She could create
in
a market.
hindsight, she knew it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that helped her do that.
Move quicker.
So it was already in place. I came on as chief medical officer. Everybody was excited about it. And then things started happening.
Okay.
So what happened was as part of my work, I had a small quality department. So if there was ever a concern of what happened in a clinic or a pharmacy,
yes,
these complaints or concerns would be elevated to my team.
Yes.
And they would research it. Is there anything wrong? Did anybody make a mistake? And I started getting a handful of complaints from patients who came to our clinics in Arizona and got Theranos.
Yep.
And the one I'll never forget was a guy who I spoke with who said, I went to your clinic, I did the Theranos test, I got the blood test back, and my prostate-specific antigen, it's called a PSA, was twice normal. So for those who don't know what a PSA is, it's the most common screening test for prostate cancer.
Okay.
So this guy said, holy moly, I probably have prostate cancer.
Right.
Because it's not normal to have a PSA 8 when normal's below 4.
Okay.
He was panicked, he went to his doctor. His doctor immediately sent him to a major lab like LabCorp or Quest.
Sure.
They repeated it, and it was normal. That was number one.
Yeah.
And then I started getting a handful of ones that were less dramatic, but same pattern.
Right.
Thyroid tests, potassium, not life-threatening, not earth-changing like the PSA.
Yeah.
But the story was the same. I got an abnormal reading. I talked to my doctor. I went to a normal lab, and it was normal.
Yeah. So is it false positives? Is that the?
That's called false positives.
Yeah.
There's false positives and false negatives.
Yeah.
You don't generally know about the false negatives.
Right.
Because if someone gets a normal, they go fine.
Yeah.
So there probably were some of those
Which
too.
is worse. Yeah. Yeah.
And
oh
so,
my gosh. Yeah.
So the next thing that was was mind bending.
Yeah.
And by the way, before all this, I had met Elizabeth. I should have told you that.
What was that like? Tell me.
Yeah, we went out to the fancy office. They had this beautiful, brand new lab and headquarters in California. And it was like Star Wars. Glass everywhere, metal, and the fun stuff is like Sonny and Elizabeth had matching Audi supercars in the lot.
Okay.
Hers was red and his was blue.
Oh, geez.
And at that time, it wasn't public that they were like a thing.
Dating or whatever.
Whatever, right.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story. But anyway, so I was there and she did her classic pitch. I got to see her investor pitch.
Okay.
Because we were kind of an investor.
Because you were an investor, yeah.
So what they do is you come in, before anything else is done, they have a technician come in and prick your finger. They put the capillary, a little tube, they take the drop of blood, they have their own thing called a nanotainer, and they whisk it off.
Okay.
You don't see the lab or anything, they whisk it off. And then she comes in her black turtleneck and tells you her story, the origin story as we call it. How she was a young child and she was scared of needles and she wanted to save the world from that, and that's why she dropped out of Stanford.
Yeah.
So you heard her spiel, slides, she wore the turtleneck, perfect blonde hair, and some of the things they said about her you didn't notice, like her voice was particularly low.
Yeah, the deep voice. Yeah.
And now in retrospect, she trained herself to do that.
Yes.
At least so people said who knew her.
Yeah.
She also tried not to blink. Like if you talk to her like I'm talking to you, she'd talk to you and like not blink.
Okay.
So she adopted these behaviors to be more commanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I heard her whole spiel, and then and then when you leave, you get your lab report.
Yes.
They did a tour, but you never saw the real stuff. They had to see
Yeah, it was just happening behind.
And if you go to the bathroom, you have to get accompanied by a guard that's got an earbud, and it's like secret security. They don't want you wandering around the building.
Yeah.
And her office and Sonny's had bulletproof glass.
Jeez.
This is all the crazy stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
yeah. Who operates like that? Yeah.
This was the crazy stuff.
Right.
This is the drama. But again, she got this amazing board, and everybody said this. She claimed she had a contract with the military.
Yep.
For Afghanistan or something.
Yeah.
She claimed she had a deal with Pfizer, which turned out not to be true.
Not to be true. Yep.
And the military was not true.
Yeah.
So at that time, I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty impressive.
Right.
What do I know?
She's got great credentials, right?
And then I got my lab report back, and it looked fine.
Yeah.
Now, in retrospect, they picked the tests that worked. Some of the tests do work. Like, for example, if I pricked your finger, I could do your glucose.
Right.
That's
gonna,
There's certain things
simple,
that work.
yeah.
Certain things will work on a drop of blood.
Yes.
Not everything.
Not everything,
right.
yeah, right.
So that was my first meeting of Elizabeth and Sonny. But then later, like 6 months, I got those complaints. So what I did, I had been chief medical officer of a laboratory company like 5 years before. So what I did, I knew enough what to do, and that's why they handed me the situation.
Oh, geez.
So I called up and I said, I want to talk to your lab director.
Yeah.
So the people at Theranos, somebody,
Yeah.
said, it's Dr. Dewan, he's in New York.
Okay.
So that was a little funny, because usually your lab director is where your lab is.
Yeah, where the lab is, right?
But
yeah,
I called him up and I chatted him up, and he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Harry Leider, and tell me a little bit about yourself. He said, well, and he actually told me this, Olivia, without it blinking.
Yeah.
He said, well, I'm Sonny's dermatologist.
Oh. Okay, so that was the credentials going into, oh my God.
So first of all, legally you can be, as long as you're a licensed medical doctor, you can be a lab director.
Sure.
But it's almost always someone who's trained in pathology and then laboratory medicine.
Not a dermatologist.
Not a dermatologist. So the story was the real lab director had quit precipitously. That's been documented in the movies and the book by John Carrio called Bad Blood and his articles. And they needed someone immediately, so they found this guy.
Any old doctor off the street.
Until they could find someone else.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's when my hair started like curling in the back of my head.
Yeah, something's off.
My radar, my spidey sense, I was like, oh no, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
I said, you ever go there? He said, oh, they don't need me. I said,
they don't need me. The lab doesn't need me. Okay.
So that's when I started. I pulled together a small team.
Yeah.
And we
started to investigate.
Behind the scenes, started to investigate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't know at this point that you guys were getting data that wasn't matching up.
No.
That wasn't.
Well, I did contact them and I asked for their validation data. This is going to get a little geeky.
Yeah, it's okay.
But in the lab world, when you develop a new test, Olivia, you take like 100 people.
Yep.
And you draw blood the old-fashioned way. Let's talk about Theranos. The way you would do it is you draw blood like phlebotomy.
Yep.
In a tube, send it to a major lab.
Yep.
And send another sample from the same patient, a drop of blood.
Yep.
To Edison or their technology, and then you look at the data.
Yep.
And you compare it.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
No.
It's called validation.
Yeah.
And that's what the FDA requires.
Right.
And CLIA, technically, that's the body that oversees labs.
Makes sense.
So I asked for the data. And the answer I got was what Theranos said about everything when you ask them questions. It's proprietary. They wouldn't give it to us.
Yeah.
It's proprietary. It's our secret sauce. I'm like, what do you mean?
The date, yeah.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
They wouldn't give it. Wow. And then I had to weigh in with the lawyers from Walgreens, their legal team. So who's their lawyer, their head lawyer? Guy named Du Bois. I think it's David Du Bois.
Du Bois.
He's probably the most famous defense attorney of all time. In the modern era. The hanging Chad and Gore, and many famous cases.
Yes.
I think he was in the OJ thing too. So anyway, he's a country lawyer, and he put his arms there, and he, no, I don't think we're going to do that. And I had to get the Walgreens attorneys to want to push him.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is a big fight.
Right.
And why? Who are you, Harry? I mean, everybody thinks this works, and you're telling me it doesn't.
You're telling it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was skepticism. I even had a conversation with my wife at the time that I said I could lose my job.
Right.
Because
you're sounding the alarms, and it's like they've already invested so much money into this.
Well, not just the money, but yes, a lot of that, and they did produce some evidence when the contract was signed that what they did worked.
Yeah, of course.
It was limited, but they did it to Walgreens' benefit. It wasn't like they flew blind.
Right.
But it was fraudulent. What they produced was fraudulent. So anyway, I got together myself. I led the team. I hired a laboratory regulatory expert, a data guy, and an operations person from Walgreens, and the four of us were a team. And eventually, they gave us some data. We just kept asking.
We got the proprietary data. Yeah.
Right. And I sent it to my data guy, MD, PhD from MIT. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And he calls me up a couple weeks later. He said, Harry, I've got some good news and bad news. Okay, start with the good news. The data matches perfectly.
Okay.
I said, great.
Great.
What could the bad news be? He said, the data matches perfectly. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, two technologies can't match perfectly. They have to be close if it works.
Yeah.
But there should be some error. There should be
a margin of error.
But because it's fraudulent, it looked too good.
Oh,
and he was able to, with even pre-AI, he was able to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked too good.
Yeah, too good to be true.
And so then I accelerated the whole thing, and eventually, after we met with them multiple times, the attorneys, and eventually I got Walgreens to pull the plug.
So talk me through the downfall. Like, how did that happen? Right, you're sounding the alarms, you're notifying, you're collecting all of the data and the information going into it.
Right.
But like, how did that happen once you had to start to translating that information to leadership to actually go as far as pulling the plug?
And that wasn't as simple as it sounds, because the leadership wasn't lab people, they're not scientific people.
Yeah.
So, you create a briefing, you make presentations, you get experts to, not just me, but experts like my team. And to Walgreens' credit, once we started that process, they backed out fairly quickly. From beginning to end, my process was about 12 months, which was not bad considering how complex and political how political it was.
Political, and how much, it was a lot of layers.
And you have to remember, Elizabeth was pretty brilliant on the marketing side.
Oh, she was.
So one of the things they did is they convinced everybody that CVS was going to partner with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember that.
Yeah, so Walgreens in many ways felt good that they had picked up.
Beat out CVS.
And she was very good at sort of promoting the image of the company and the technology.
Right.
So it was a lot for people to get their mind around. How could it be wrong?
How could it be wrong, right?
Like, I mean, all these people. Now, a little secret about the board. If you look at who their board members were, they were phenomenally famous people.
They were.
None of them, except for one senator, I forget his name, he was a retired physician, he was a senator, practiced many years ago. None of them were healthcare people.
No medical people,
There were no people with healthcare experience.
Right.
So the board was not a critical,
But she sold the vision, right?
She fell in love with the story.
Yeah, which I get too. It's like, Walgreens was misled, but like so was in a lot of ways the entire world. Like nobody was really sounding alarms initially. They were like, it was so incredible, her story, the impact, the opportunity with the technology, that people believed her, right?
Yeah.
And in some ways, you guys were just caught. She was good at marketing. You guys were caught in the crossfire.
She had a letter with a seal from Pfizer saying that they have a partnership. It turned out that was forged.
That was forged.
Yeah. So I mean, those kind of things, but. The other thing is there's a wrinkle in the laboratory world. Again, this is a little geeky.
Yeah.
But a lab can develop a new test and validate it kind of internally. Unlike an FDA drug.
Okay.
So it is a little bit of a wrinkle that you can get a new test up and running a lot easier. Now Medicare and Medicaid is looking at making that harder.
Yeah.
But it's called an LDT, a lab developed test. But I got to tell you, I mean, for people that heard her story, a young entrepreneur, woman trying to beat the system and develop something disruptive at a time where the whole Silicon Valley ethos was so sexy.
Yep, move fast, break things.
Move fast, break things. It was pretty compelling. Now the other thing about the board, and this is just my read.
Yeah.
The average age on the board was probably 80 or 85, and they were all men.
Yeah.
So how much it was like father figures and wanting to take a young woman entrepreneur? I'm not suggesting there was anything unseemly about it, but I think there was a psychology to it.
There was, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And for her too, it's like the branding expert too. Right. It's like she's like, I know if I develop a board that is already respected and well known, like it'll just add to my own credibility.
That's exactly, and even the Sunny thing. I mean, this has been well documented. They kept it kind of secret that they had a relationship. He was her number two, but I don't know the number. I think it was $20 million, but she was at the verge of losing control of the company fairly early.
Wow.
And she got him to invest $20 million from he made money in an IT company.
Yeah.
He was wealthy.
Yep.
But his $20 million kept her in power.
Yep.
So you can, was it love? Was it, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
She ditched him pretty quickly at the end.
At the end, I know, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this was also in a lot of ways when this started to come up, Walgreens was at the front and center of, as Theranos was hitting its downfall, right? Because it became more publicly known that the technology was not what we thought it was, right? Et cetera. So, like, walk me through what did that look like in those days?
Well,
it's like at this point it's already out there, right? And it's like you guys were at.
To be fair, I think the catalyst that was so helpful to me and my team was the articles that were being written by John Carrio, because we weren't alone.
Yeah.
He was dropping an article every week or two, investigative reporting, which became the basis of his book, Bad Blood, which I highly recommend.
Yep.
So we learned a lot from his articles.
Sure.
But I mean, at least early on, the hardest part was the widespread belief that this was real.
This was real, yeah.
Yeah, it was very hard to battle that.
Yeah.
And I questioned myself too. I mean, you have to.
Yeah. So how long did you stay at Walgreens after all of this?
So Walgreens pulled the plug mid-2016.
Yep.
CMS shut them down about 6 months later,
Yeah.
I stayed there until mid-2018, so for a few more years. And what was really very gratifying is Walgreens was gracious and grateful. They appreciated the work I did.
Yeah, oh, totally.
But, up front it was a little tense.
Yeah, well, you walked into like a messy situation,
yeah.
right? That.
Yeah, the two people that really were proponents that they were well-intentioned is a physician who was at Walgreens when I joined called Dr. J. Rosen.
Yep.
It's a cute story if you ever come from, you're not from Philly, but Dr. J is a famous basketball player, Julius Erving, Dr. J from Philly.
Oh, okay,
so this
cool.
guy, his opening line when he introduced himself in any meeting was, "Hi, I'm Dr. J. I used to play basketball," and everybody would groan.
Yeah, that's cute.
He's in the Hulu movie.
Okay, all right.
He's in the car whistling at the beginning.
Okay.
And he feels badly. He really does.
Yeah.
But again, it was fraud.
But it was fraud. Like everybody was. Right. It was fraud.
It was fraud. I don't blame him. It was fraud. I mean, if it's fraudulent stuff, how do you know?
You don't, right?
Right. Like if you get a fraudulent email and it looks like it's got an emblem from somebody, you got to double click on who sent it to even know that it's not real, right?
I know.
Similar.
Very similar. Yeah.
And then the CFO at Walgreens at the time got enamored with it too, Wade Nicolon. So you always have internal champions to any new
any
thing.
deal.
And those were the two. And then the rest of the company said this was great. And it could have been great. We had our clinics. The idea of having patients do their blood test within a Walgreens store. Before they leave, the nurse practitioner could order a prescription for them based on the lab results.
Yeah.
Very compelling.
Yeah. So taking a step back, because you're obviously not with Walgreens now, but you spend a lot of time consulting and working with early stage companies.
I do, yeah.
So tell me about how you take an experience like that and consider applying it today when there is, right now, anywhere you look, somebody's talking about AI, right? It's like anybody thinks that they can be...
Anybody can create a healthcare solution in a day.
In a day, right? In an hour, whatever.
Right.
So it's like, how do you take that experience and thinking about today, the technology that's out there and like how you're advising companies?
Yeah, the core learning I talk about, thank you for asking, is, because I think it's the most important lesson of Theranos. The stories are not fun, but interesting, and intriguing. But what's the core learning for entrepreneurs today and in healthcare? I think it is that in most areas, most industries, this whole Silicon Valley ethos of lean startup, minimally viable product, and for your listeners that aren't familiar with it, it's you create what's called a minimally viable product, something that barely works.
Yep.
You don't wait to get it perfect. You launch it and you get customer feedback and you change it and pivot. You get more customer feedback and you iterate quickly. But the idea is don't wait to make sure it works. Break it. If it breaks things, who cares?
Right.
That's fine if it's DoorDash and your pizza gets there 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
Right? Or Uber says 7 minutes away and it's 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's not going to hurt anyone.
Right.
But in healthcare, not all versions of healthcare, if it's something that helps doctors bill or code or scribe notes, you're not
or hire more doctors or something. Yeah.
But if it's involved, I always say, with diagnosis,
like
Theranos, treatment, making treatment decisions or helping people with what I call care management, how to manage through challenges and disease.
Yeah.
You can't start your company and launch a minimally viable product.
No.
Because you're touching people's lives.
Yeah.
So healthcare has a higher standard. Another way to analogy would be the airline industry.
Yep.
You can't put in a new navigation system that doesn't work yet.
Yeah.
And figure out what you need to do, right?
Yeah.
So there's certain industries where safety is important.
Yes.
And the whole minimally viable product thing is not wrong. It's just the evidence you need to put together and how much you have to prove before you launch is much greater.
Because the impact is greater.
Huge,
you're touching.
like Theranos, right?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest learning.
Right.
Companies have to spend a lot more time, money, and energy to develop their product or solution before they expose people to it.
Do you think we've gotten better or worse at that?
I think we were getting better at it, but to your point, Olivia, I think the worry is AI.
It is.
I mean, I get exposed to companies every day that have a different AI application that they think can improve care.
Right, and that's one of the things I was thinking in the advent of now, where there's pros and cons to everything, right? And it's like the fact that we can access and have more personalized data about our own health, right? Which is a good thing, to better understand and maintain and live a healthy lifestyle. The other side of that is like, you know, could there be another type of Theranos, right?
Sure.
Where somebody's feeding you information that
Sure.
and telling you things that you should be doing that's not true.
Right. So I think there has to be guardrails.
Yeah.
I haven't seen many companies break that yet, but it's on the edge. There are healthcare AI companies that are edging into giving patients powering your nurses to exactly what advice to give patients, so they don't have to like remember or look it up.
Right.
So, you know, it's inevitable that a nurse is going to be helping a patient with diabetes and it's going to get a wrong piece of information.
Right.
It's going to be too easy.
Too easy. Right.
Yeah. On the other hand, the human brain can only have so much in it.
Yeah.
So I think AI can be powerful in giving you tools as long as there's guardrails around.
There's a balance, and I think right now we're at an inflection point, right? And it's like it could go either way. So what advice would you give to founders in healthcare, in therapeutics, in life sciences that are building in this space right now?
Yeah, I think, my mental model, and I write a little bit about it, is
where
on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a newsletter and a podcast, but the model I call is good ideas to great healthcare companies.
Okay.
So how do you go from a good idea to a really great company that can do good work and help lots of people be successful?
Yep.
And there's a path. I call it a map, but the basic idea is you start with a good idea. Maybe it's AI.
Yeah.
It solves a real problem, a meaningful problem. You start with a meaningful problem. You come up with a good idea, but then you have to collect evidence or data that it actually does what it says it's going to do.
Yes.
And that's where you can run into trouble if people skip over that step.
Yeah.
But you have to collect data. In the world of drugs, it will be FDA studies.
Yeah.
But you collect data that it really works.
Yeah.
And then you have to build trust with your clients that you're actually going to do what it says it's going to do.
Yep. Totally.
And then you collect data in the real world with your clients that it's actually making a difference. So that's the path.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the big step is evidence is not, I always say evidence is non-negotiable in healthcare.
No, it's not.
I worked with one company that had a unique technology, I won't name the company, for simply, I don't want to be too detailed, simply with a phone telling someone's blood pressure, heart rate, whether their sugar could be high, and some other things.
Okay.
Just with a phone.
Yep.
Using AI.
Yeah.
And it sounds great.
Yeah.
And the CEO is very excited about it. He's trying to sell it into employers as a wellness tool.
Yep.
Only one problem. Not all those things work well.
Yeah.
When I looked at the data.
Yep.
And I was a client, and I had to say to him, well, we got to dial back what we're saying. It works for 2 of these things, but not for all 4
yes.
or 5.
Yes.
And he said, well, I won't have a good product. I left the company.
Yeah.
So I think a big role for people like me that are physician executives and leaders is you have to be the conscience of the patient and the system.
Right.
Because the for-profit motive can become overwhelming, right?
Yeah. Isn't that the oath when you sign when you were a doctor too?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's like
Hippocratic
ethics.
oath, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing this story with me.
Sure.
And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to interview and learn from your experiences. And I'm excited about this, as I mentioned. We work with a lot of founders across the board, and I think so many of them would value from your expertise and experience, too. You've seen things at all different levels.
Yeah, it's been a great ride, and it's great to be able to help young entrepreneurs. But just as sort of a capstone on the Theranos experience, most of your listeners probably know Elizabeth is still in jail.
Yep.
I don't know how many more years is in her term. It was originally, I think, 11-year term, but maybe it could be commuted down to 9.
Yeah.
Sonny's a little longer.
Yep.
Because they claim he knew more.
He knew more.
I don't know.
She got a better lawyer.
But she is in a country club. She's in the lowest security prison. It's still prison.
Yep.
But there's no fences.
Yeah.
There's recreational stuff. She's in the same prison they transferred Epstein's partner to.
Oh, no, Ghislaine. Yeah.
So she got transferred to there too.
So there you go.
Yeah. So.
What does that say? I don't know.
What does that say?
Yeah.
Now we had to invalidate a million lab tests. So fortunately, no one to my knowledge got really hurt.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But it was quite a journey. We'll never forget it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you.
It was really a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.